I am Sunshine here. I hope you guys are having an awesome Saturday. Okay, I know it's still pretty early. Most of y'all probably still in bed or done got out of bed, fixed some breakfast, got back in bed. You know, that's what you usually do on a Saturday, right? So I definitely understand. But y'all, okay, come in a little closer, okay? So Miss Knowles, Tina Knowles, that is. Okay, so I found out some mess about her. So I was thinking the whole time that Matthew Knowles was the issue with the group and all the groups first. It okay, so it seems like before the group was called Destiny's Child, it was called Girls Time. And there was a female, of course, we know there were plenty of females that were in and out that group. And y'all follow me on this, right? What's up, Chris? Y'all follow me on this. So, most of the females that were in and out that group or the group with Beyonce, any of the whichever names you want to call it, were dark skinned girls. So yeah, this is a colorism video, okay? Let's get into it. So I know that it's been rumored that Matthew Knowles has said that his mother was very strict on him not having or bringing around any dark skinned children in her family. So I guess it seems like maybe they wanted to keep the lighter skinned folks in their family. To each his own, you know. Sounds crazy to me, but whatever. He went forward and he ended up meeting um, Celestine, Celestine, Celestine Knowles. I didn't even know that was her name, y'all. I did know that her name was Beyonce, but I believe it's Celestine and Beyonce Knowles, oh, something like that. Okay, anyway, we're talking about Tina Knowles, Beyonce mother. Okay, so it seems like Tina Knowles, which is Celestine, okay, seemed like she was a colorist also. So they're saying it's rumored, okay, all this is alleged, it's rumored that she was a great big colorist. And when it came to the different girls being in the group with Beyonce, she wanted Beyonce to shine. She wanted her to be the star and the only star, which makes me feel like they probably knew Beyonce would go far in this industry because of her skin color. So, of course, she just needed, she just needed a team to get her set up and then they could push her out there and she could be the main artist, just like she is. And if you think about it, a lot of girl groups or some girl groups have went that route where it was a girl group or even guy groups, to be honest. But it seems like it's acceptable for a dark skinned man in the music industry, but when it comes to a dark skinned female, it's like they're not getting Beyonce status for some reason. Okay? Okay. So anyway, let's get to it. So Beyonce Knowles, I'm sorry, Celestine Beyonce Knowles. She was a colorist. She had a huge problem with dark skinned girls out singing Beyonce in a group. So there was this vocal coach named David Lee Brewer. And David Brewer said that he wrote a book. Okay, not only did he say it, he wrote it down, wrote a book about it. Like to hear it, here it goes. Okay, I don't have the name of his book, but I can look it up for you guys or put it in the description. But David David Lee Brewer. He said that in his book that he was forced to push out one of the other singers that was in the group and she was 9 years old. And he said it was because she was dark skinned. And he said that since he was the vocal coach, I guess they created Tina Knowles created this group around Beyonce, and then she had girls coming in and out the group. She would get rid of them, but she would find a creative way to get rid of them. So instead of saying, "Oh, you're too dark, I'm tired of you, get out the group," she would use David Brewer to get rid of the girls for him. So he didn't explain what he told the parents when he got rid of certain artists, but he did write in his book that, that hurt him to his heart when he had to get rid of Ashley Tamar. I've never even heard of her before. Y'all, I've never heard of her before. I thought I knew all um the the females that was in the groups with Beyonce, but I didn't. I never heard of her. So Brewer said in his book that he was forced by Tina Knowles to remove Ashley from the group by telling her parents or telling her mom that she wouldn't be able to continue in the group. So since he was the vocal coach, it came from him, and it kind of, I guess it solidified everything, because this is the vocal coach telling you that your child isn't good enough for this group and she has to be out. And then I guess, here go Tina probably coming in and like, oh, you know what? He said that it's not going to work. And then now she's out. They're going to replace her with someone else. And then, hell, just let Beyonce do her own thing, because that's eventually what they wanted to do anyway. But anyway, let's get into it. So, David Brewer, he wrote in his book that he had to do that. That was one of the hardest things that always stuck on his heart. And he said he saw her in the airport years later, in like 2018. I'm not sure when the book came out, but he said she was grown, and he cried to her and told her that, what happened, why he put her out the group. And he said that Tina Knowles, Celestine, okay, this is her natural name, Celestine, okay. He said that Celestine told him that she's big, she's black, she's ugly, and she's towering over the other children in the group, and we can't have that. So he didn't say that she wasn't big or towering over. He didn't explain, what her size looked like or whatever, but she did call her ugly. She called her black and ugly, okay? And if you see the girl, she's a very pretty girl. So at 9 years old when she was in this group, she probably was still cute. A little cutie patootie. But anyway, so yeah. And all this time I was thinking that Matthew Knowles was the culprit, but it's actually that doggone mama. Celestine Tina Knowles is her every time. So I took some notes. Let's see here. Let's see here. So Ashley Tamar, who has worked with Prince, she's been on tour with Prince. She's also worked with Tyler Perry. She's been in a couple of his plays. Y'all Google her. The girl has made a name for herself. And it's so crazy. Like I said, I've never heard of this girl before, but I do remember seeing one of Tyler Perry's plays with her in it now that I know her face. But yeah, this is crazy. So she went on to, continue to be a star and to make a name for herself. So that's good that her mom didn't stop her and they kept going. Okay. Let's see here. So Ashley Tamar, she said that she saw LaToya Luckett's mom once. She saw her somewhere, and she told her about David Brewer's book and let her know what happened. So she said, of course she ran into certain people, but if y'all don't know, LaToya Luckett was booted from the group as well. But I think when she was booted from the group, it was Destiny's Child. So they must have all known each other, and maybe they were all together in the group called Girl Time, and then a couple people got dismissed, including Ashley Tamar, and then they changed the name to Destiny's Child. Child, this is messy. Let's see here. So Celestine's, she wanted Beyonce to be the star of her group. So she was a hairstylist at the time. Matthew Knowles, he worked at the time, but David Brewer said that Matthew Knowles would always be late bringing Beyonce or picking her up from the vocal coaching. And so sometimes Celestine would ask Brewer, David Brewer, to drop Beyonce off. So because Matthew Knowles had a problem with bringing Beyonce to class or picking her up on time, Celestine asked David Brewer if he would move into their guest house in the back. And that way, he could stay there and he can, of course, coach the girls and, it'll be a whole lot easier for him. So he agreed to that. And he said that he stayed in that house for 7 years, y'all. And he said that Tina Knowles, she manipulated the heck, okay? W-E, hockey sticks, but I say heck. But he said she manipulated the mess out of him. And she was a whole mess with Matthew as well. David Brewer also said that Celestine, I love saying that name, but let's see. Am I back, y'all? Am I back? I had a call come in. Let's see here. Okay, I hope I'm back. Yeah, looks like I'm back. So anyway, so David Brewer said that Celestine was the problem. She was always the problem, and Matthew wasn't the problem really with him when it came to him. He said that Matthew Knowles was on that sugar booger, okay, that white stuff, and the white heart stuff that you smoke. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so he said that's why Matthew had problems coming to pick Beyonce up on time because he was too busy playing around in the streets, either with women or with that white girl. If you know, then you know. I'm sorry if you don't know. I'm not talking about a physical person. I'm talking about a rug that starts with D. Not a rug, but the D, then the rug. Okay, follow me. Follow me, y'all. Follow me. Okay, YouTube censors a lot of stuff that I could say on here. Anyway, so that caused a lot of problems between Celestine and Matthew with him and his habit that he had. And Brewer also said that Matthew liked to mess with a lot of different women. And Tina Knowles was messing with is it Robert Lawson? She was messing with Robert Lawson at the time, and he actually walked in on them two kissing. Okay, then she had to introduce him to her because she had to introduce Brewer to Lawson because Brewer walked in and saw them kissing. So I guess she wanted to try to, be real fake and phony. So for some reason, it's Tina Knowles is okay with dark skinned men, but don't like dark skinned women, y'all. It's messy. It's real messy. I'm thinking this must came from her childhood or something, from her lineage, her parents or whatever. Anyway, so and that makes a lot of sense now that you think about Beyonce with the super bright blonde hair. And also, her skin looks like it's been bleached. The mom's skin also looks like it's been bleached too. Tina Knowles' skin, but I'm not sure. We can't prove that. And y'all already know. Okay? Ain't nobody telling that information. But Solange and Beyonce, you could tell, of course, they're sisters, but it just never gave supportive sisters to me. I don't know. I've never really seen the support come from Beyonce, who was the bigger star, especially since Solange has made a whole name for herself. She's a artist. It looks like she's more into her heritage, like her black roots. You see, she'll wear the afro and stuff. And Beyonce talks about, okay, look, Beehive, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Okay? I'm just speaking the facts. Okay? Now Beyonce will say in her music that she liked the curly hair, nappy hair, this, that, and that. But when the last time y'all seen Beyonce with her afro? I'll wait. Child, I ain't got time to be waiting for all that. Okay, yeah. So you know that's just for show. Anyway, they're saying that Jay-Z was picked for Beyonce, but Celestine wasn't sure Jay-Z was going to be a good fit for Beyonce because he was older. And I'm not sure how much older he really was because y'all know her age is up for question as well. Beyonce, that is. Okay. But maturity is one thing that could definitely be an issue because they're saying that Celestine wasn't sure that Beyonce would be able to handle such a mature man. Allegedly. Child, okay, whatever. Anyway, so they didn't really want Jay-Z, but they said in time he had proven himself to be a good match for Beyonce. Sounds like a handler to me. Okay, sounds like a handler. But okay, let's get into it. Because shortly after that, Beyonce went from being managed by her dad to pretty much being what it looked like, allegedly being managed by Jay-Z. So she went from one man to the next. Okay? A handler. But anyway, allegedly. Okay, but back to Beyonce and Solange. So, I never really seen the support from them. Like, Beyonce a winner award, and you never really hear her say, "Oh, my sister Solange, y'all make sure y'all go purchase her album coming out." She never I would do something like that. That's my personality. But for her to not do that makes me feel like whoever thought that wouldn't be a good look for her brand for whatever reason. Right. But I don't know. It seems like they're not that close. And I wonder how close Solange and Celestine really are because I don't know. I haven't Googled, but I don't remember seeing too many pictures with Celestine and Solange, but hundreds of pictures with Beyonce and Solange. So I don't know what that's about. Okay, so let's get to Tina and or Celestine and Richard Lawson. Okay, so they have been messing around allegedly ever since she was married to Matthew. So of course she got married. She was married to Matthew. Matthew was on that stuff, them rugs with the D. Okay, she got rid of him and start seeing Richard Lawson on a full time basis, and I believe they stayed together like 6 or 7 years or something. It wasn't too long that they stayed together. Anyway, he had a type of NDA that he had to sign. It wasn't an NDA, it was a disparagement clause in their I guess in their what do you call that? Far as like their I don't know. It must be some type of agreement that they had. It was a non-disparagement clause in whatever agreement they had. So they could have had a like a prenup or something, or anyway, it's some type of filing, some type of document that is called a non-disparagement clause that prohibits both parties, Celestine, Tina Knowles, and Robert Lawson, from speaking on their children or grandchildren. Now, that's interesting to me that neither one of them can speak about the grandchildren in particular. Okay? Because I hate to say it, y'all, but Beyonce did not birth out of her body Blue Ivy. Okay? Okay. Beyonce would have had to be about 7 to 8 months when she did that interview in that other country. And they showed us behind the scenes clips. Okay? Because who else put that information out? Who else knew that her belly fold? This was all before the interview. Okay, so she sat down, her belly fold up like you fold up a shirt, And she was like, would have had to been like 7 to 8 months pregnant. So I've been pregnant. My stomach never folds. It's always tight. It's super tight. Okay, it's stretching. It's tight. So how you okay, anyway. So I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why Richard Lawson can't say anything about the children, about the grandchildren, because he probably would tell it all that Beyonce didn't have Blue Ivy. We don't know what happened, but we know for sure she didn't birth her out of her body. Okay, anyway. And speaking of children, where's the son at? Is his name Sir or something? I haven't seen him since he was like 1 or 2 or something. I don't know. Where is this child? Now we seen the other child. Is it Remy? Is it Remy and Sir or something like that? We seen the other girl because she looks just like Blue Ivy, almost look like a clone. I ain't trying to start no drama, but she does look like a clone of Blue Ivy. But where's the son? Tasha K said that the son has like autism or something, that this is all alleged, because you know how Tasha K do. So child, this is alleged. Okay, this is not true that I know. This is just an idea or a possibility. So that could be the reason why they don't show this young male child of Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't know, child, but I thought it was very interesting that they put a clause in a legal document stating that Richard Lawson cannot talk about Beyonce and Solange children. But anyway, so David, who is the former vocal coach for Beyonce and all the group members who was in the group Girl Time, and I believe it did transfer over to Destiny's Child. I'm not quite sure about that, but yes, he wrote a book. And he said that, Celestine did not like dark women. He said he was forced to remove Ashley from the group, and he stayed there for 7 years. I thought that was very interesting because he moved in with them, even though he knew they were having a lot of issues. But it makes me wonder if Celestine thought that maybe she and David could get together and she have her some in-house. But child, David seemed like, and I'm not sure, but he seemed like he on the sweet side, like he played for his same team, but I'm not sure. I'm just stating my thoughts. Okay. But, yeah, so that's what he said had happened. Um, let's see here. So, oh yeah, so David said that Matthew smoked the rock. Okay, if that makes more sense to you. And Tina was sneaking around with Richard Lawson. And then, of course, she married Lawson, divorced Matthew and married Lawson. Do y'all remember the girl Farrah? Farrah was in the group Destiny's Child. So, of course, that was after the Girls Time group because it was called Girls Time TYME. And a lot of those members from the Girls Time group, they were also on Star Search. If you didn't know, Beyonce was on Star Search, which was a huge thing. Usher was on Star Search. I believe Christina Aguilera was on there. A lot of artists, Justin Timberlake, I believe it was Justin Timberlake that was on there. But if you don't remember Star Search because you're not as old as I am, Star Search was like it was like The Voice, or like what's the show that Fantasia was on? How she got founded? American Idol. It was pretty much like that, and so people would go artists would go on there, and then they would be discovered. They would usually get a record deal from being on there, because they pretty much wanted to see them perform, and they wanted to see how the audience would take them, and see how many views the show would get, because that would let them know, if that artist was the right one to promote and put money into. Because think about it, back then, which doesn't seem that long ago, of course, but back then, that was, we didn't have social media. So, pretty much it seems like an artist can be an independent artist because of social media nowadays. But a lot of artists still want to get up under those record deals. And to me, it makes me feel like they want the fame. They want to be famous. And one thing about it, I want the money, but I don't want the fame, child. I don't need everybody harassing me. I can't go to the grocery store. I don't even like going to the grocery store. That's not a good one. I can't go out in public without someone, oh, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? I don't want them problems. But Star Search was the way to get yourself known, because if you went on Star Search, everybody was going to see you, because everybody's watching Star Search. It was nothing else to watch. So the TV shows was very limited. So if you went on Star Search back in the day, you was going to be a star if you was actually good. So actually most of the artists who went on there end up having record deals. So Star Search was the thing. But there was a girl named Farrah. Farrah was in the group Destiny's Child, and I remember watching an interview she did, and she told how she believed Matthew Knowles was trying to like get with her. Okay? Get with her. And she said that she denied his advances. And the next thing you know, she heard through the grapevine that she was kicked out of the group. And she was telling people, no, I'm not kicked out of the group. What is you talking about? And people were telling her, no, they said that you didn't show up for sessions and stuff. And she was like, I've never missed a session. Come on now. This is Destiny's Child. I've never missed a session. But that is the rumor that they put out there. When I say they, I'm speaking of Matthew and Tina. They put out the rumor that, and I'm assuming it's them. Who else would put this rumor out? Okay, so saying that Farrah, who was, people like Farrah in the group. I didn't have a problem with her or Latoya Luckett. I love seeing the beautiful girls with different complexions and stuff in a group. That kind of made a young dark skinned girl feel good, seeing someone look like her on the screen, not knowing that that was all a facade, and they were just setting everybody up to, promote Beyonce. That's the terrible thing, y'all. I shouldn't even have to explain why. But anyway, so Farrah was kicked from the group because she said that Matthew was, trying to hit on her, and she denied his advances. And the next thing you know, she heard it through the grapevine that she was booted from the group, and she was actually booted from the group, and she didn't take that very well. She did a lot of interviews telling her part of what happened when she was in the group. So and I can't remember why they took out Latoya Luckett. I forgot what the problem was with her, but I do know Latoya and Farrah have all come with Beyonce, and I believe they talk. So the problem wasn't with Beyonce and the group members. It was with Tina and what's up, Sprout? It was with Tina and Matthew. They were the ones who had the problems with the girls in the group. They didn't want them to outshine Beyonce in any way, so they made it their business to, make Beyonce the leader and have the other girls be like her backup singers, pretty much. Let's see here. Yeah, and I said in here that It's crazy how some people don't like dark skinned people, but they will date or marry a dark skinned person. Like Celestine, she didn't like dark skinned women, but she married dark skinned men. Like, what is the psychology with that? That's crazy to me. But you get that a lot. Usually, dark skinned men will always go and get a wife or a woman who is way lighter than them or maybe of a different race. And I just think that's interesting and weird. A lot of times, in my opinion, I feel like the guy, if it's a dark skinned guy, he probably heard things like Matthew Knowles' mom told him, don't bring no nappy head churn around me. I remember when I was in high school, and it was this black girl who I thought she was just so pretty, but to me, in my opinion, she act white. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to censor myself on my channel, like when it comes to my opinions and my views. But if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Okay. She hung with a lot of white people. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying facts. And so when she spoke, it didn't sound like a black girl who came from a black home. It sounds like a white girl. Like if you close your eyes, you wouldn't even notice the difference, right? Nothing wrong with that, right? But she had a problem with black guys. For some reason, I don't know if it came from her family. It probably did come from her family because it's looking like these families are the ones that's starting the whole colorism thing. But she always said that she wanted a baby, a pretty baby with good hair. And I used to think that was just so wrong. And I remember saying in class, like, why would you say that? And she was like, because I want my baby to have pretty hair, like, curly hair, not nappy hair, but like pretty curly hair or straight long hair. And I'm thinking, but you don't. So that tells a lot about you. You don't love yourself because why wouldn't you want your child to look like you? Especially since you're saying that you don't want a dark skinned child or you don't want a black child. Because that's what she said. She didn't want a black child. She didn't care if that child was light skinned. She wanted a guy who had good hair, like a Puerto Rican or a white guy, who would give her child, male or female, some good hair. That's just what she wanted. And I always thought that was weird because it made me feel like she didn't love herself. And it kind of made me feel like, Dad, what does that mean? Especially when I was in high school. Like, I really didn't understand it. But now I understand it a lot better, that it comes from a lot of people who don't even love themselves. And that's why they say these things. But that's not to say that you're going to have anything more just because you're with someone of a different race. Like, okay, but whatever. If it works for you, it works for me. If you good with it, I'm good with it. Um, yeah. Yeah, and just to close this out, that's pretty much all I have. But I believe that Matthew Knowles, he knew that Beyonce could be the star, she would be the star, and they did everything in their power to push her to be the star. You know? So, I really would like to know the history of how everything got formed and started because it seems like even in the girl group, the young girl group, girl time, they knew Beyonce was going to be big or they knew the group was going to be big. And I'm just wondering, how did they know that then? Unless they had some good connections or something in the music industry. And so they just knew that her career was going to take off. I'm not sure. And if you weren't wondering about Kelly Rowland's role in all this, so it's rumored that Kelly Rowland was the only female who pretty much like catered to Beyonce. So because she was the one who catered to Beyonce, she did everything for Beyonce. And, it's like she knew her place in the group and she made sure she knew her place. She stood back and let Beyonce be the main star. That's why they're saying that Kelly was able to stay in the group because She ain't starting no mess. And I thought I remember people saying that Kelly and Beyonce were cousins. But if you know anything about black households, we'll claim everybody, okay? Everybody's our cousin, uncle, aunt, or no, auntie, unc. We do that a lot. Our sister, our brother, we claim people. That's just how we do. But yeah, they're saying that Kelly Rowland, she pretty much catered to Beyonce, so she was able to stay in the group and go so far. That was a lot, you guys. How do you guys feel about me even bringing up this issue? I knew it probably was going to start. I knew it probably could start some mess, if anything, with the Beehive because I'm speaking on colorism. But it's an important thing that does need to be talked about. Think about it. What huge celebrity do you know that's on a Beyonce status, Beyonce Taylor Swift status, that's dark skin? I'm waiting. But I ain't got time to be waiting too long, y'all. Okay, I just want to come and make this video because when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, that is a huge thing. And I do want to spread the word and let people know about it. So let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. I could definitely do a part two. I didn't mean any harm to anyone or mean to offend anyone. So I hope no one gets offended by me speaking my truth and by me, bringing up the topics that I choose to talk about. Okay? Well, anyway, you guys, subscribe to my channel here so you'll receive all the latest updates when I do post a video because I gets into it. Okay? I don't hold back. I really don't. And I do it with a smile on my face. You guys subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. I'll appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next live. Peace.